Right.
Hey, Art, for leaders and business improvement leaders or quality managers out there at the moment, anyone, what would be like your 2 minute tip to them going forward? Apart from definitely they should get your book and have it as a reference guide forevermore. But what would be your 2 minute tip to them with trying to make lean stick and actually get the outcomes culturally and performance wise?
Well, I think, I just go back to the number one thing, of course, is Kaizen and getting people involved in that. And then you have to follow up on the Kaizens. You have to make sure that they stick. That's the more difficult part. Doing the Kaizens pretty easy, and you're going to get great results, but making it stick is hard. And so that means you got to have a good Kaizen promotion office that's going to follow up. You got to have managers that follow up, that kind of thing. And if you can do that, if you can do a lot of Kaizen and then do a lot of good follow up on that, uh, things will change fairly rapidly because the results that you get are so enormous that it's pretty hard to deny them. And if you can hold on to them, I always think of Kaizen and doing this as sort of like 3 steps forward, 1 step back, all the time, because people naturally want to go back to the way they did things before. And getting standard work to stick and getting people to do that, it's difficult, quite honestly. So the follow up is real important here.
Yeah. And I could imagine art too, you mentioned earlier, like establishing a visual workplace where performance is visual and process is visual plays a massive part in that too, to the
Right.
sustainability of it.
Yeah, I think it's critically important, particularly as you're starting out, because when you're doing lean, you're not looking at things on how many did I make this month. You're looking at things hour by hour. So you need something on the shop floor that says, you know, what did I do the first hour? What was I supposed to do? What did I do the second hour? What was I supposed to do? And some comments to that says, why didn't those marry up? What went wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So we just had simple flip charts at every cell that had the hour by hour results of what was going on. And so you could go back out and look at the last 5 or 6 days. And a lot of times what you see was the reasons why they didn't make the number was the same reasons. So then you knew exactly what you had to fix.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody in a cell could see that, could see what was going on. They could see hour by hour where they were. And the motivation of that is hard to neglect. And it's sort of like, if you go to a sports game, a baseball game or a soccer game or something, and you come in 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, what's the first thing you do? You look
Yeah.
up at the scoreboard, right? See, well, what did I miss? Right? Where are we? That's the first thing you do. Well, this is the same idea, but you're going to see hour by hour if you post what the result was and what you were supposed to do. You're going to see everybody in the cell will look up and say, "Hey, what did we do? What are we doing? Are we okay? Oh, we're all right. We're fine." Or gee, we're going to have to go a little faster. Or, we're falling behind. Why are we falling behind? So I think that's a really critical thing. The visual control is really important because if you go in a regular traditional factory, it's hard to know what's going on. There is no visual control. There might be lots of, computer reports someplace you could go dig up things, but there's nothing you can see when you're just walking around. You have no idea where you are.
Yeah. I love that sporting analogy, Art. We have a lot of particularly frontline and supervisory leaders around the world going out in the sporting fields with blank grass and not much else. It's pretty common across our world, isn't it? Versus they
Yeah.
can get out in the sporting field, see the goal, know how they're performing, see the field of play. It's such a
Uh,
great analogy. Yeah.